This is a little different for me. Normally, I'm on my I'm on my laptop. I have my camera. I am sitting over here in my corner this morning. This morning, I told my youngest son, I was like, "Hey, let's go hop in the car and go loafer for a little bit." And so we ended up staying out much longer than what I expected, but it was worth it just to hang out with my best bud. Clemson and Georgia Tech kicks off in the next 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And it's kind of interesting how this is an extremely important game. Now, the Clemson fan base has different approaches according to who you talk to. Some are like, "Hey, we're terrible, we're awful. Fire this person, fire that person." That's one group. Another group says, "Hey, we start off slow a lot for some reason. And today, Clemson's going to kick it into gear. They know that Georgia Tech's a good football team. Now, they knew that LSU was a good football team too, but that doesn't seem to equate. We're okay with losing the openers. But Clemson's going to get it done today. Everything will be fine. And then after that, Clemson's going to go on a run. If they get past this game, they're going to go on a run. And by the time they get to Florida State, it's, Clemson's going to have everything together." And folks, I'm going to tell you, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right that today will be the day that Clemson, in game 3 at Georgia Tech with a team that can play, that Clemson's going to pull it together. They're not going to allow this to happen. Georgia Tech hasn't beat Clemson in forever. But I gave you my prediction the other day. I picked Clemson to win this ball game, but I am telling you, folks, I would not be shocked, and nor would I see it as a quote-unquote upset at this point of the season if Georgia Tech beat Clemson. Georgia Tech is in a very different place than Clemson is, and this is the key for me. This is my frustration also with Clemson. Since the LSU game, we have seen where Cade has missed throws. By the way, Cade did miss throws, right? Cade missed throws. But it seems like the mood around the Clemson community is, well, Cade missed his throws, so yeah, it happens. Oh, we know the offense, it's not near what it should be, but hey, guys, it's bad and we hate it, but it happens. Brent Key, on the other hand, this is the difference between winning and upsetting teams and getting better. Brent Key, on the other hand, is sitting there going, "Look, I have Haynes King. I know his skill set. And if I had a different quarterback, I may run some things a little differently. But I can win with this guy. So instead of calling plays, and if it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, shucks, it didn't work. I'm going to call plays to make sure that it does work and that we do get the job done, because Brent Key's number one job, number one responsibility, is to win football games. And that, to me, could be the difference between Clemson and Georgia Tech. Clemson knows they have the talent. You know they have the talent. You know that if you took this roster and put it up side by side with Georgia Tech, as many of you have probably already done, Clemson has, across the board, way more talent than Georgia Tech. And transparently, Clemson has more talent than most teams in the United States of America. If my memory serves me correct, they return the most experience across the board in major college football. But up to this point, folks, that hasn't seemed to matter. Up to this point, the only thing that we're seeing, and this should scare the crap out of everyone here, is that, well, we just haven't made the plays, and we got a whole season to figure it out. I catch that from some of the coaches. I catch that from some of you. My question is, if Clemson loses to Georgia Tech, will that be the panic button for some of you? That's the question. Or will you be caught up in Clemson playing a bunch of bad teams after this? And getting on a roll, and then all of a sudden, you're just going to pick and choose when to use football logic. For me, I think this is hands down the most important game that Clemson has played in a while. Because today, if you lose with this roster, what gives you hope for next year? What gives you hope if you can't win with this team? What? That's a really good question. So today, I gave you my prediction a couple of days ago. I picked Clemson to win, but I told you, I said, look, I'll tell you who I really think is going to win. Who I think is really going to win. My heart says it. My mind says Clemson. My gut, my gut says Georgia Tech wins this game today. Why? Because I think their scheme wants it more. And where does their scheme come from? Their coaches. I'm not saying Clemson's coaching staff as a whole doesn't want it, but in life, you can run into people who wants it, whatever it may be. In this case, we're talking about college football. We're talking about winning. And then you run into people who wants it more. I think Georgia Tech wants this game more. I really do. Clemson's 16 and 18 team is not playing today. That coaching staff is not there. And when we hadn't won the national championship since 1981, there was something to prove. There's nothing to prove now. And it seems that way. So, folks, I see a bunch of you in here. I'm gonna say a quick hello, and then I'm gonna see you at halftime. If you want to see me at halftime, I'll be back here talking about the game. Hopefully, some much needed adjustments. I hope if Clemson goes tempo, does some misdirection, takes some shots down the field here and there to keep the safeties honest, and scores touchdowns and not field goals, Clemson will win this ball game handily. They will. But Mr. Stink, good to see you in here. Will Man, good to see you. CJ, good to see you. Chase Henderson, one of my old buddies. Good to see you, buddy. May there to you. Reggie Grant, Michael Forster. Michael, hadn't seen you in a while. Good to see you. John Parker, good to see you. Doc Gibbs, the weakest link, is in here talking trash. JT Brown, another monthly supporter of the channel. Good to see you, my friend. Rustastic, it's good to see you in here. Hope you and yours are doing well. We got JT Brown, Go Tigers. Thanks for supporting the channel. $2. That's really, really kind. Let me see. Jacob Moore is in here. Chris Keys is in here. Again, JT Brown, thanks for supporting the channel at extra $2. That means a lot to me. Chris Keys, as an LSU fan, I respect how real you are, but I ask, do you think we beat a bad Clemson team? I think we just outplayed them and took motivation out of them. That's why they looked with Troy. I think that Clemson has a ton of talent from top to bottom, and it's just not it's just not being utilized. Yes, y'all are a solid football team. I'm not talking trash here to you, Chris, about LSU. LSU has a lot to prove to me, because they beat a team whose offense really didn't open up anything. And everybody's wanting to talk about some of the missed passes from Cade, and they're 100% right. You can't get rid of those variables in the equation to get the proper answer. But I will tell you this, and I mean this. I want to see what happens when LSU plays a team whose offense doesn't have an, "aw, shucks, we missed some passes." and they go against a team whose offense can score. If that is the case, I want to see how LSU responds. So, anyway, I appreciate you being in here. Folks, I'm going to go watch the game. Y'all go take care of yourself, and hopefully I'll see you at halftime. As always, go Tigers.